welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kitchen, the Freeze Drying Academy. All right, what do we got for you today? We got something special. I'm gonna make a really cool, I hope, energy bar, okay? So I've got the famous dairy-free yogurt, the Granola. This is actually really good stuff, and it's actually really good to use in freeze drying because it's dairy-free. It gives you a whole different realm for those of you that are selling your freeze-dried item, because you have to worry about things that contain dairy, and being that this is dairy-free, this is a good item to use for your base. Okay, so we got the yogurt, okay? Then I found this bag of organic, salty sweet granola. Really cool stuff. Some of the ingredients, it says it's got, oats, it's got some coconut, some organic sugar, it's got sunflower seeds and some quinoa flakes, chia seeds, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sea salt. Stuff's really, really super good. Okay, then let's put these off to the side. I've got some freeze-dried apples that I want to cut up and add to the mixture. And of course, some freeze-dried strawberries. So it's going to be apples, strawberries, granola, dairy-free yogurt, energy bars. Sit back, relax, you're watching Crazy Dave's Kitchen as I show you how to make these. All right, so one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these freeze-dried apples out of the bag here and just lay them onto my cutting board real quick. Okay, just, not a lot of them, just a little bit for now. And I'm going to grab my knife. And all I'm going to do is just cut them up, until it's just whatever they come out. Watch your fingers though. If they come out, little small, bite-sized pieces, that's perfectly fine. Again, we're just gonna dice them up. And there you go. And we're just gonna fill up the bowl here. Well, not all the way, but we're just gonna do a big handful of the apples and dice them up. We can always add more into the mixture. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the freeze-dried strawberries. So this is what the apples look like when they're all cut up. I mean, they're pretty cool. Save the powder, and it almost pretty much filled up the bowl. Now I'm gonna work on dicing up the strawberries. And same thing, just dice them up. Watch your fingers again. Doesn't matter. Just kind of, chop them up and do the same thing. All right, guys. So the apples have been diced up. Also, the freeze-dried strawberries been diced up. In the box of the Granola yogurt, you get 8 of these, okay? So I'm gonna use all 8. I've got a little spatula here, and I've got a big bowl. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by dumping in all 8 of these little cups of the dairy-free yogurt in the bowl first. Then I'm gonna start adding the strawberries and the apple a little bit at a time. And then I'm also gonna start adding the granola. When I do the measurements, I'm gonna try to get the measurements for you guys so you know exactly how to do this recipe. All right, so next we're gonna work on the granola here. It comes in these little clusters. So I'm gonna start with, I think, I wanna start with maybe 1 or 2 cups of these little granolas. So I think maybe 2 cups. So let's put in 2 cups here. And I wanna see how it looks, because the granola's gotta be a huge factor behind it, because that's what the star of the show is. The little tidbits of the apples and the strawberry, that's to enhance the flavor. And right now I just did 2 cups of that, and I kind of like it, but I'm gonna go with a total of 3 cups. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it up with my mixer and see how that looks before we add the apples and the strawberries. So that was 3 cups of granola. All right, so this is blended up with the mixer, 3 cups of granola. And it's getting there, but I think I want to add more. So I'm going to go with 3 more cups of granola and bring you back. Okay, so now this is with 3 more additional cups of the granola. Looking really good, kind of thickened out a little bit. But I also took the last 3 cups and I put them in my Vitamix and I blended up really nice and fine. So did a really good consistency there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some apples and the strawberries in here. If it starts to thicken up too much, you can always add some coconut water in there. All right, guys, so I ended up blending this stuff again. It is kind of thickening up. I mean, it's really good if you want to eat it straight out of the bowl. But remember, with freeze drying, you've got to have a little bit of a liquidness to it so that it can spread out nice and even in the tray. So what I have is this stuff. Zico, 100% coconut water. Because remember, we're trying to keep it pretty much dairy-free in the freeze-dry environment. This one here is 13.5 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and start by adding about half of it, okay? Because I want it a little bit on the liquidy side, and that to me feels about half. You can't really see much of it, but it does feel about half. I'm going to go ahead and blend it up and see if I can get this stuff to turn a little bit more thinner, more liquidy. Okay, so that's about a half a bottle of that coconut water. It's starting to look really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually add the whole bottle. So for those taking notes, that is 13.5 ounce bottle of coconut water. All right, this thing is looking really, really good. But one ingredient I forgot to mention to you guys, and I saw it sitting on my counter going, oh man, I forgot to mention it. This stuff, this amazing oat flour. And I'm only gonna add a 1/4 cup to that, and we're gonna mix it up. And for those taking notes, 3 tablespoons of the sugar. You got a 1/4 cup of the oat flour. You've got, I believe, 6 cups of the granola. And then just a couple handfuls of diced strawberries, a couple handfuls of the diced apples. All right, now it's time to get these into the freeze drying molds. So I got 2 of my trays here. I've got these beautiful dividers from freezedryingsupplies.com. Guys, hit them up. They're really amazing customer service there. I believe I haven't mentioned it before, but I had a small issue with one of my items, and I just sent them an email just to let them know, you know. And almost overnight, they sent me back a brand new replacement, no question asked. Didn't even have to send them a picture. They are amazing as far as their customer service. All right, so what are we going to do now? I don't know why I put the knife there, but we're going to go ahead and load these trays up using the spatula, and we're going to fill them up and go from there. What's so cool about these dividing that they have is you just glop this stuff on there, and then you just take your spatula and move it around, and it'll just fill in all the holes, okay? Now, if you need to, just keep, go back to your original bowl here and add more, but then just, lightly kind of, spread it out. Now, the recommendation is leave the dividers in. A lot of guys I've heard will take the dividers out and they wonder why they end up with the mess. Leave these dividers in the entire time that you're freeze drying, okay? And if you end up with, too much in a tray, you can always scrape it off. But right now I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up all these trays with this nice mixture of the granola energy bar that's gonna be, believe it or not, actually, I think healthy. It's got a little bit of sugar in it, it's got a little bit of sweetness in it. But we're trying to make it healthy because that's where we all need to go nowadays. I know that you guys don't like to hear Crazy Dave say the word healthy, but I'm telling you, this freeze dryer really got me into eating a lot more of my fruits and vegetables, okay? All right, well, I'm almost done with this tray. Let me finish this up here, and I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, guys, so that is one tray. Let me set that up to the side real quick for you guys. And then you'll still see I've got a lot left. So I'm gonna estimate that this recipe will allow you to do 2 trays. So if you're gonna do a 4-tray method, just double the recipe. I have some intention that I'm gonna do with the other 2 trays. All right, guys, so in this case, it did not fully fill the second tray, but pretty darn close. If I intended to do all 4 trays, then I would have doubled the recipe. But no worries, because again, I have other plans for the other 2 trays. Well, all right, guys. Well, there you go. That's the basic recipe for some amazing dairy-free yogurt granola energy bars that are great anytime. The kids are gonna love them. You can even give them to your dogs, more or less, because it's got what? Dairy-free yogurt in it, got some strawberries in it, it's got some apples in it, some coconut water. Yeah, true, it has a little bit of sugar, but that's not really gonna hurt Fido, okay? Trust me, when I had Indian Liberty, those dogs got pretty much everything. All right, well, now we're gonna put those trays into the house freezer, okay, or in my case, my garage freezer, overnight. We want those things to be nice and firm before we put them in the freeze dryer for the next step. All right, guys, it's been overnight. The freeze dryer is ready to go. It's already been cleaned and sanitized. I'm using the default setting here, so we're just gonna go ahead and open the lid here. Open the door, actually, lid, whatever you wanna call it, because this baby's ready to rock and roll. So let's go to my big freezer. Let's get these things out of here. So we're gonna go over here, grab these trays here. They're kind of heavy. You gotta be really careful when you pull them out because they do like to somewhat slide around. So just make sure you're really supportive there. Close the big door and set them down gently, okay, because again, they wanna slide. All right, let's take a look at these babies. Now, I am using the Harvest Right tray lids, okay? The reason why is I only have one set of these little dividers I've got from freezedryersupply.com. Again, great website, check them out. They're awesome, great customer service there. And of course, check out Harvest Right directly because they have some amazing products as well. Pop the lids off, set them off to the side here. This one here is the granola mixture, okay? So let's take a look at that. That's that. All right, let's go ahead and zoom in. Look at that, how absolutely beautiful that is, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and put that into the freeze dryer. Gonna remove the second lid. Same thing, not as much on the other one if you remember, okay? Put that in there. Now over here, these are the two other trays I mentioned earlier that I was gonna purpose for something different, and that is because my wife loves what she calls the strawberry yogurt bites, okay? And that's basically, you know, the dairy-free yogurt with a little bit of sugar and some strawberries. Now this time I hid the strawberries inside of it because last time she happened to come across one that had a big chunk of a strawberry in the center and she thought it was absolutely amazing. So this time I hid a strawberry inside. I also put a strawberry on top of the tray, so when I pull them out, I know exactly which ones these are. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that because they are beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put that into the freeze dryer tray, and we're gonna remove the last lid, okay, of the other one. That one's a pretty loaded one. All right, again, default settings. Close the lid, close the door, hit continue, make sure your drain valve on that side and your vacuum valve on this side is closed, okay? And this is ready to rock and roll. I'll see you when these are done. All right, guys, these have been in here for a long time. In fact, the machine says 56 hours. Now, sometimes your freeze drying will take a very long time. Other times, it's a very short time. Now, that 56 hours also included a 24-hour buffer that I had because I have to go to work and I didn't want the machine to go into the reset mode. So I always do extra dry time of 24 hours. The remaining time on that was 6 hours. So, you know, you got to subtract a little bit of that time from the actual freeze drying process there. Okay, I had already opened my vacuum valve on this side, the drain valve on that side. We're gonna go ahead and open the door here and we're gonna pull these trays out. Now, if you remember the top tray, that's the strawberry bites. So let me pull that out. They look awesome. Let's take a close-up look at that. All right, and if you remember, I did the hidden strawberry inside that. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that one comes out. This next tray, that one was the granola bite. Actually, that's another strawberry, my bad. The two strawberries here. The granola bites is this one here. Now that looks absolutely awesome. Woo, I can't wait to dig into these ones. Let's take a close up on that. And you'll see those look really good. And that is the whole tray of that. So let's put them up to the side. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take them into the kitchen. We're gonna remove the trays here, or the little dividers, and we're gonna see what they look like. All right, this is the granola bars. And you'll see that the tray's kind of full here. So if you ever have a problem getting your dividers out, just take a knife and gently lift one up, and you'll see how easy it started to pop out. And just kind of push down on it. And there you go. The tray's been removed, placed that into the sink, and they look like little candy bars, you know? Kind of cool here. Let's go ahead and remove this whole tray, put it off to the side real quick, because we want to look at this. We wanted to really examine this and see it. And we're just going to cut it in half here. Watch the thumb. Cut like a cracker again. That's the inside. Not much really to see. I'm going to go ahead and cut into quarters real quick because I want to taste test it. And let's see how it comes out like. Very light in texture. Oh man, these are good. Honestly, to me, it tastes like an oatmeal cookie with a hint of a strawberry on it. That's pretty darn good. All right, let me go and grab the strawberry bites. These ones here are the strawberry bites. And same thing, we're just gonna lift up the little dividers here. Just kind of push down. And then you should be able to just pull it off and pull it out and you'll be fine. There you go. Same thing, we're just gonna grab a random one here. Put that off to the side here. They come out really cool looking because of the tray dividers. And same thing, we're just gonna cut it in half and see if we can find that missing strawberry. Oh man, right there guys, look at that. Not sure if you can see that on the camera, but that's actually really good. Let's see if we can get that. So you see the little strawberry there. That one's really cool. Same thing, you got the strawberry there. Yeah, so I think that's kind of cool that the strawberry is actually going to be hidden into these little strawberry yogurt bites. Well, all right, guys, there you go. You've got the strawberry yogurt bites, or the dairy-free yogurt bites, strawberry ones. Really good, super amazing. I like the idea of hiding that strawberry in the middle. It kind of gives that hidden treat so that if you are selling them, that's going to be kind of cool that your customers are going to actually appreciate that. Also, for those that are making it for the kids are going to really like it because they're going to start nibbling around it to see if they can get the strawberry out without destroying it. Ultimately, they're going to get a healthy snack. So that's a really cool idea for you there. The granola bars, man, those taste like an oatmeal cookie. And my daughter said it reminded her, she couldn't pinpoint it, but it reminded her of a treat or a snack that you'd pick up at the amusement park. So she's like, Dad, this tastes like this would be at an amusement park. Guys, make your own, have fun freeze drying. Until next time, sit back, relax, enjoy, watch all my videos, okay? But I'll see you guys next time on Crazy Dave's Adventures of Freeze Drying.